He changed my description.
Right.
He changed how I talk about myself. He changed how I view who I am. He changed how I measure myself and who I am. Because before Jesus, I had an impressive resume. I was a Hebrew of Hebrews. I was a Pharisee. By the standards of the law, I was blameless. I was the man. I had it going on. I was the greatest Jew there was. Every Jewish man wanted to be like me. Every Jewish woman wished she could marry a man like me. Every Jewish boy said, I want to be like him when I grow up. I thought I was the man. But that was before I met Jesus. But Paul said, since I met Jesus, I discovered that it does not matter how you measure up against other people. What really matters is how you measure up with him.
Yes, sir.
Paul said before Jesus, I was too busy trying to compare my life to everybody else.
Yeah.
And because I thought I was doing better than everybody else, I thought I had it all together. But when I met Jesus, I understood it don't matter how you measure up to everybody else. What's more important is how you measure up to him. Because when I met Jesus, I came to discover there's coming a day when I'm going to have to face him. And when I face him, he ain't going to ask me how I measure up against anybody else. He's going to ask me how I measured up.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Paul said, I came to discover that when you get through living life and you die and you go to meet God, how you measure down here ain't gonna matter. What matters is how you measure with him.
Yeah.
I discovered that it doesn't matter what other people think of you. What really matters is what he thinks.
That's right.
Paul said, I spent my life trying to be the man. I thought I had it all. But then he said, when I met Jesus and I experienced his resurrection power, my description changed, because in verse 12 he said that I had to realize not as though I had already attained. Before Jesus, I thought I had everything under control. I thought I had everything. But when I met Jesus and I experienced his resurrection power, I experienced that no matter how much you might have it good according to the world standards, in Jesus' standards, you ain't never. No matter how you measure up by the world standards, if you compare yourself to the standards of Jesus, you discover I still got a long way. Paul said when I measured myself by other people, I was a finished product. But when I got Jesus and I experienced Jesus, I discovered I'm still a work in progress. By human standards, I had everything. By Jesus' standards, I hadn't even scratched the surface. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, when you truly come in contact with Jesus Christ, you discover that no matter how much you have, no matter how much you've done, when you get in Jesus, you discover there's still always more to do. That's why I can't get with these church folk who act like I'm only going to do this little bit. And once I do this, they better not ask me to do nothing else. I ain't doing nothing else for them folks. But Jesse, they better not ask me to do it. If they ask me to do anything, child, I can't do all that. I'm just too tired. I got too much on my plate. Well, think about what if Jesus decided matter of fact, before Jesus went on that cross in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed, Lord, remove this cup. Now just think, what if God would have granted his request right then and there? What if God would have removed that cup right then and there? Because Jesus said, remove this cup. This is more than I can handle. But what if God would have granted his request and got him off the hook because it was more than he could handle? Where would we be? Jesus gave all for us. Why not give all to him? Because let me tell you, baby, when you really understand what happened on that Friday, when you really understand all that Jesus went for you, all that he had a crown of thorns on his head, and you complain about a little headache. Big old iron nails in his hands and feet. And you complaining because you stomped your toe. Blood and water constantly dripping out of him. And you don't want to come to church, and you don't want to even come to church because I just don't feel good.
All right now.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
All that he went through for you, and the slightest little thing come around, I just can't go to church. I just can't do it today. Lord, give me. No. What if God would have granted Jesus' request? What if God would have said, okay, Jesus, since that cup is too much for you to bear, you ain't got to go through it.
My God.
Let me tell you for the record, your cup ain't got nothing on what was in his cup. Your little bit of suffering ain't got nothing. I don't see you nailed on no cross. I don't see blood and water dripping out of you.
Amen.
Paul said, I thought I had it all.
Yeah.
But when I met Christ, I realized that there's always more. My description changed. I went from being the man who had it all to the man who realized I'm nothing without Christ. And if you don't get nothing else, brothers and sisters, I just want you to remember, you are nothing without Christ. Without Christ, your life really has no value. Without Christ, until you experience the resurrection power of Jesus Christ, you really have not experienced life. Well, time to go. Paul said, when I experienced the resurrection power of Christ, my desires changed. Then when I experienced the resurrection power of Christ, my description changed. But then, finally, I want you to know that when I experienced the resurrection power of Jesus Christ, not only did it change my desires, not only did it change my description, but it changed my destiny. Paul said, before I met Jesus, before I experienced his resurrection power, Paul said that I thought I had everything there was to get. Before I met Jesus, I spent time trying to be the successful man according to the world's standards. But when I truly met Jesus, when I experienced his resurrection power, when I became connected to Jesus, Paul said that I realized that this world's definition of success falls short. I realized that there's much more to life than what this world has to offer. Because Paul said that before I met Jesus, I thought that I had everything that there was to ever have. But Paul said now that I've experienced his resurrection power, I've discovered that there's a whole lot of stuff in Jesus that you'll never get in this world. I thought I was living when I had my life all together. But Paul says, since I encountered the resurrection power of Jesus, I discovered that I hadn't even started living. Paul said that before I met the risen Christ, I thought that my life was all together. But Paul said, since I met the risen Christ, I got to understand that at the end of this life, he's got some stuff for me that is far greater than anything this world could ever provide. And so Paul said that my destiny change because he said, I once lived my life in pursuit of earthly things. But when I came to Christ and when I understood that he's got some blessings for me down the road that are far greater than anything this world can provide. And Paul said, since I met the risen Christ, I stopped pursuing the things of this world and started looking towards glory. Because Paul said that I understand that in this world you can have the greatest fashion sense and you can have all the late breaking clothes that this world has to offer, and you can have the finest taste in fashions and be able to afford the most expensive clothes. But Paul said, I got in Jesus and I learned that there's a long white robe that is waiting for me that is greater than any clothes I can ever get on this earth. Paul said that I once thought that my big old house was the best thing I could get, but then I got in Jesus and I discovered that over in glory there's a mansion with my name on it that's better than any house I can live in down here. Paul said that I thought I ate the finest foods in the world. I was able to afford to eat in the best restaurants in the world. I was able to eat the finest cuisines this world had to offer. But Paul said, since I got in Jesus, I discovered that over in glory there's a banquet table waiting for me. He's got a table spread with milk and honey that tastes better than any steak I can get on this earth. And Paul said, since I got in Jesus, I discovered that the things that he has is far greater than anything on this earth. So Paul said, my destiny changed. You want to know how my destiny changed? He said, since I met Jesus, I discovered that this world really had nothing for me. So Paul said, here's what I did. I forgot about all that stuff. And he said, I looked the other way. And he said, ever since I met Jesus, I've been pressing toward the mark, because I know at the end of it all, there's a prize that's waiting on me that's far greater than anything in this world. And so, since I met Jesus, I decided, forget what this world has to offer. I want everything he's got for me. And since that day, I've been pressing toward the mark. Sometimes the way gets hard, but I keep on pressing. Every now and then I don't feel good, but I keep on pressing. Every now and then the world may knock me down, but I just keep on pressing. Every now and then folk may talk about me, but I just keep on pressing. Every now and then my body might get a little sick, but I just keep on pressing. No matter what I have to go through, I just keep on pressing, because I know that one of these days I'm going to reach the end of my life. One of these days I'm getting ready to leave this world, and all I want when I leave this world, all I want is for the Lord to look at me and say, well done, good and faithful servant. I don't care what anybody thinks of me, as long as the Lord can look at me and say, well done. That's all that matters. I don't care what you think of me, as long as the Lord looks and says, well done. That's all that matters. You can talk about me all you want to. You can say what you want to about me. All of that don't matter. All that matters is I want to hear the Lord say, well done. Is there anybody here that made up in your mind? I don't care what anybody else thinks. I don't care what anybody. All I want is to hear the Lord say, well